Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely crucial. We're going to unpack the massive, invisible infrastructure that literally makes modern digital life possible. You rely on it dozens of times a day, and it's all happening entirely behind the scenes. So let's start with a really fascinating biological fact. Science tells us that the typical human brain can only recognize about 5,000 faces by sight. That's it. That's our built-in, hardwired limit for identifying friends, acquaintances, and, well, foes, just based on things like cheekbone structure or eye shape. But think about the world we live in today for a second. As commerce, work, and our personal lives move almost entirely online, those biological limits just do not cut it anymore. We need a system that recognizes millions of online personas, devices, and applications, and it needs to do it instantly. Without the capability to verify exactly who is on the other side of a screen, global commerce would literally grind to a halt. No way around it. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with what is digital identity, then peek inside your digital wallet. After that, we'll look at the architecture of trust, move on to protecting digital identities, and wrap up with the future of identity. All right, part one. What exactly is digital identity? You see, a digital identity isn't just a simple username. It's actually a massive collection of data points comprising characteristics, attributes, and activities that verify an entity. Think of it like a complex data trail. It's your street address and your past online orders, sure, but combined with technical footprints like cached PC cookies or a hash based on your smartphone's IMEI number. All these pieces come together like a giant puzzle to establish trust, so an e-commerce engine or a corporate network knows for sure that it's really you. To really grasp this, we've got to separate your digital identity from your accounts. Let's use a great analogy from our source material. Imagine an account manager named Colleen. Her digital identity is like her entire physical wallet. It contains the whole shebang: her employee ID, her loyalty cards, her credit cards. An account, on the other hand, is just one place she uses a specific card. The grocery clerk sees her loyalty card. The security guard sees her ID badge. But neither of them sees her entire wallet. So your digital identity is the whole wallet, not just the single card you pull out for one specific interaction. Moving on to part two, inside your digital wallet. And this brilliantly illustrates a major difference between human and non-human identifiers. For us humans, we rely on personally identifiable information, biometrics like eye color or fingerprints, credentials like passwords, and online trackers. But in the digital realm, machines need IDs too. Imagine your smart fridge having to show a bouncer its ID to get on the network. It's kind of like that. Internet of Things devices and microservices use hardware-baked MAC addresses, asset tags, IP routing, and security certificates to prove who they are. These non-human entities require incredibly robust digital identities to communicate securely without our help. We're talking about everything from the Trusted Platform Module, the TPM chips in your corporate PC, to IoT edge sensors, and even life-saving medical devices like pacemakers. They all have their very own digital personas to ensure they are fully trusted by the networks they connect to. All right, part three, the architecture of trust. So the crucial point here is separating authentication from authorization. OpenID is an authentication protocol. Basically, it establishes who you are. Auth, on the flip side, handles authorization. It dictates what data or applications you're actually allowed to access once you're inside. They're totally separate concepts, but they work hand in hand to keep the whole system secure. Now, to manage all of this, organizations use Identity and Access Management, or IAM for short. This is the technology and policy framework governing access to resources. Actually, it's essentially the main rulebook for digital identities. IAM looks at the attributes in your digital wallet to make access control decisions. It also enables incredibly useful features like single sign-on, or SSO. And let's be honest, SSO is a lifesaver because it dramatically reduces password fatigue by letting you use just one strong set of credentials from multiple apps. So why does this complex enterprise architecture actually matter to your daily life? Well, because it's what enables modern work. Strong IAM allows for secure cloud collaboration, like securely sharing files with external design agencies. It gives us the location flexibility to work from literally anywhere, reduces IT complexity, ensures companies meet data privacy compliance, and provides rock-solid secure access controls for sensitive systems like cloud-based ERP suites. Let's move on to part four, protecting digital identities.
As individuals, we have to be super vigilant. Beware of phishing attempts, and please never use public Wi-Fi for sensitive transactions. It's just not worth the risk. Calibrate your social media privacy settings, monitor your accounts closely, always keep your software updated, and for sure, use strong passwords along with multi-factor authentication. And keep this in mind. Unique physical characteristics are the most secure form of verification out there, while basic passwords are actually the least secure.
But hey, organizations have a massive responsibility here too. They absolutely must deploy comprehensive IAM and single sign-on systems, institute strict incident response plans, and perform regular security audits. Crucially, they need to embrace the principle of least privilege. What that means is humans and connected hardware devices are only granted the absolute minimum access needed to do their jobs, nothing more. And of course, all communication channels must be fully encrypted. Finally, we arrive at part 5, the future of identity. Let's move to and see how this builds into some really exciting new frontiers. Blockchain technology is stepping in right now to offer decentralized, tamper-proof trust where users actually control their own data. We're also seeing digital twins. These are secondary, anonymized versions of digital identities that allow companies to safely test marketing campaigns without exposing real users' data. Plus, there's a huge push for IoT standardization, using object identifiers and EPC global IDs to track the exploding number of connected devices across the globe. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we handle the digital identity of artificial intelligence. As companies deploy generative AI, these systems actually develop their own digital personas in stages. First, they do it through the massive training data they consume, then through iterative learning from interacting with users like us, and finally, through ongoing model updates. It's honestly almost like a child developing a distinctive identity based on their interactions with the world. And that brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought. In a world that's rapidly moving toward a never trust, always verify approach, who holds the keys to your digital identity? Protecting your digital footprint isn't just a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing, absolutely vital process in our incredibly interconnected world. So stay vigilant, keep learning, and thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.